All right, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Nellie Deutsch, and this is day one of Connecting Online, and we are connecting, which is what this is all about. It's connecting with educators and learners from around the globe. And there are many countries represented in this collage of the presenters. And right now, Dr. Ramesh Sharma, my good friend, whom I've known for many years, and we collaborate, but we've never met face to face. We've never shaken hands, but I'm sure we will very soon, is going to be our presenter. And I see that you're here. Just a few words about myself that you can find in the course that you can join, and I encourage you to do so. There is an area where you can get all the content, all the presentations, and everything actually for the conference. It's like the conference headquarters where you can get all the printed material. Okay, all the content is there. Everything, all the presentations that you view in these sessions, you'll be able to get through what's called the courseware. Okay, so click on that if you haven't joined, and you get everything. Everything is there. So you don't have to get your cameras turned on. You need nothing but to listen and sit back and enjoy. All right, so a little bit about me. I've been teaching blended learning online and face-to-face since, I guess, the mid-90s. I've been using the internet for instruction and learning since the mid-80s. I love technology, I love people, and I love learning. And I think it's all a combination of everything. You can read more about me from here. A little bit about the conference. It started in 2009. And this is our fifth year, so it's really exciting to be able to connect online. Next year's proposals are open for 2014. We've got a book that's being published right now with the presenters from last year for CO12. The book is going to be called Connecting Online, so it's really exciting. Everyone who presents, and myself, of course, and the participants are here on a voluntary basis, which means that we're here because we want to be here. Very good reason for learning. A little bit about this is also available in the courseware. A little bit about how to get the most of WizIQ, use your headsets, really important. And of course, to clean up your system with the cleaner, okay, CCleaner. So you might want to learn about how to make the most of WizIQ and how to troubleshoot. Okay, so there are instructions there that are also available, as I said, in the course. And now for our presenter, okay, Dr. Ramesh Sharma, whom I believe I met on Wiki Educator. I'm not sure, but it's been many, many years that we've worked together, internet years, which, if it's 5 years or more, it's like 20, 30 years. So Dr. Sharma is very modest. He is working for the Indira Gandhi National Open University of India. He does a lot of volunteer work, mentoring educators, sharing, teaching. I don't know where he gets the time, but he's very, very energetic and very generous with his teaching and sharing information. He's India's regional director. He's looking after Gyandeep, Sagar. I have no idea what these schemes are. Maybe you can tell us about them under the defense unit pertaining to the Indian Army, the Indian Navy, and the Air Force, which sounds very exciting. And there's a lot more, of course. As I said, Dr. Ramesh Sharma is very, very modest. But you can look him up. You'll find a lot of information on Wiki Educator about Dr. Sharma. Okay, so I'm going to give you a head start there. Good to see you. And get your presentation up. Okay, Dr. Sharma. Here we go. And it's, of course, about open educational resources. So do you want to try your
Okay,
mic?
thank you.
I don't hear anything yet.
Uh, okay. Do you hear
You
me?
might want to either refresh the page or check your audio settings to make sure that it didn't drop. Sometimes it drops for some reason. I've seen that happen where the bar just drops down. I can show you
Okay.
what I mean
Thank
by
you,
dropping
Vilaji.
down. I've got
Yeah,
a
it's
uh,
no, Nelly.
accessibility
I
to
think
technology that I
the colleagues can
created
hear me,
so that you
perhaps.
can check because we don't hear you, Dr. Ramesh, yet. So what I wanted to show you
Oh,
was when you start the class and you go through the device settings and you have your head on and everything, there is, let me get to it in a minute. Oh, it's not here. I thought it had here, so maybe it's somewhere else. You might want to check, see if I can find it. Check the bar inside. Okay, let's see if I can quickly find it. Go into your audio settings. Sometimes the bar drops to zero. I don't know why it does it, but it does sometimes. So you might want to check that out. Let's see if I have it here somewhere where I can show you what I mean. Ah, here we go. Number one, you see
yes,
this bar here? Sometimes it drops to zero.
yes.
Then we don't hear you.
Okay.
So make sure that it's
No.
here somewhere.
Uh, Thank you, Nelly. I think
If you could
our
add everyone
colleagues
in the
can
chat box
hear
where
me.
you're from, okay, so we get a sense of the internationalness of this
Okay,
conference.
Mandarji. Yeah. Thank you, Mandarji. Uh, a very
No, I
warm
don't hear
welcome
anything.
to
Can you
all
hear
of
me
you.
though? I wonder.
I
I wonder if mine
I
has
think
dropped. No, it hasn't. I can see the bar going up and
yeah.
down on mine, so I know I'm audible.
No, no, Nelly, we can hear you perhaps. I don't know why it is happening that my audio is not going to you, but maybe the colleagues they can
Yes.
type in the chat box that
Yeah, we
they are
can hear you
listening
now.
and perhaps.
Yes,
Oh, very
very
good,
clear.
very good.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Nelly. And in fact, first of all, let me say that I like your new hairstyle and the new glasses. You are looking so wonderful. I think perhaps after this last meeting, now I'm getting connected. So, first of all, let me welcome all the colleagues to my session. And in fact, I was feeling nervous because when I checked the web page for connecting online, and it was showing something more than 500 colleagues who have registered for my class. And really, it was giving me goosebumps that how I have to present before such a big gathering. So uh, I'm happy to be here once again, and as Millie has already uh, told about me, I am regional director of Indira Gandhi National Open University. And oh, thank you, Kalyanji. Thanks. It's nice to have you in this session. And I'm currently working at the defense unit, which just 2 3 days back has been proposed to be renamed as uh, Armed Forces Unit for Defense Personnel. Basically, my unit works for the educational opportunities to be extended to the defense personnel to serve in Indian Army, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force, then Border Security Force, and there is one Central Industrial Security Force. So the reason being, actually, what we do, we recognize the prior learning of these defense personnel who, by virtue of their job, they work there, and being the defense forces, they have the very state of the art training infrastructure with them. So they joined the forces at a very young age, and their working life is somewhere around 15 to 20 years. And after that, these personnel were non-commissioned people. So once they are not in the service, they are not in the uniform, then to go for either higher education or for some job opportunities, it was found that they were still finding little difficulty into that. So the association was done with Indira Gandhi National Open University, and I think the other people they say that yeah, okay, I will try to speak little bit louder. So I was telling a little bit about my background, and, I'm working in this area where we are giving recognition to the prior learning of defense personnel. So that is my official commitments. In addition to that, I try to find time whenever possible for me to for my own personal and professional development. That's why I'm very much interested in e-learning. I have written some research papers and a book in the same area. And as Dr. Nelly has already told that I'm working with her also for IT for all integrating technology. And uh, I think I can move the slide. So today my presentation is on open educational resources, and I would like to discuss here the situation for how the open educational resources they are being developed, and what are the challenges we are facing. And since a wiki educator is a very big and great platform for open educational resources, so how in India we are making use and taking benefit of wiki educators. So that will be the brief outline of my presentation. So let's see that what are open educational resources. And before going to that, I think you must have come across various terms which you must have either heard or read somewhere in some research papers or in journals or on websites you have been dealing with. So some of these things, particularly in the openness, what is the meaning of openness in education? We have a term called as open access. We always talk about increasing the access, increasing the equity, equality, like that. So open access is one term. Then you must have heard about open content, the content which is open, the content which is open to access. Then open courseware, a kind of courseware, say for example, offered by Stanford or MIT. Or there are many more institutions nowadays. They are preparing the courseware under the open domain. And then we have open source software. The another term, it is also known as the free and open source software movement, FOSS, in which particularly that is for the computing field, in which the source code is provided to the community at large, so that they can make changes into it, and may bring out either changes into it so that it's updated. uh, then we have open education, which is and for example e-learning, in which the restrictions or the limitations of the formal system they are taken care of, and there is flexibility in the entry requirements and instructional delivery, the kind of evaluation like that. and then there it means there are so many open things, open cafe, open cafeteria, there are so many things like that. So now let's uh, uh, see that what is an open educational resource. Uh, in fact, as we will see in our next slides, I'm going to them very soon, and how the open educational resources they have been defined by some of the organizations or institutions. Uh, First of all, in fact, what how we can treat them that the open educational resources, uh, we refer to them as the online instructional materials which are provided under open license category, means which gives either the students, the faculty, or any or all the members of the public the permission to copy, to reuse, to revise, to adapt, and to redistribute the materials. Actually, that is the basic, a broad outline of the open educational resource. And in fact, the term open educational resources, it was first coined at UNESCO's 2002, the forum on the impact of open courseware for higher education in developing countries. And the movement of open educational resource, it provided a solution for extending the reach of education and expanding learning opportunities, because there were some limitations experienced by either individuals or institutions, organizations in how to meet the demand, the need for education for a big group, and particularly when finances or the costing becomes a very important factor into that. And that's why, as a result of that, the open sharing and collaboration of educational resources, it enhanced both the teaching and learning, whereas the adaptation and translation of resources, it facilitates meaningful and relevant education, as per the individual's either conditions or needs or environments. And if we look a little bit into the past development of open educational resources, I think the emergence of open educational resources movement, perhaps we can trace it back to somewhere around early 90s, where Wayne Hodgins he gave the concept of reusable learning objects. And later on in the later 90s, David Wiley, he enunciated this concept with the concept of open content we just saw in our previous slide. And basically, uh, it was based on the the underlying principle of free and open source software movement on open license policy. And then subsequently after that, the founding of Creative Commons and the announcement of Massachusetts Institute of Technology, popularly we call it as MIT, although in India also we have some of the institutions which have the known as MIT, but the original MIT, I can say, Open Courseware OCW initiative in 2001. It gave a big impetus to the OER movement, and I think I can say that the basic philosophy behind the OER movement is that the educational resources they are identified as a collective social product which should be accessible to all, whoever needs them. And open education resource movement, it can we believe that It's quite instrumental in bringing certain fundamental or transformative changes in the education system, wherein there is a move from, we call it as from a passive consumption of educational resources to an active involvement of educators and learners in the creative process of content development. And towards the end of my presentation, we will see some of the commendable work done by OER Foundation by the establishment of OER University. So perhaps that is a symbol of a fundamental and transformative change in the way the educational systems they have been working. So, with this little background on OER, now let's see that how OER they have been defined by some of the uh, uh, institutions like Commonwealth of Learning. And Commonwealth of Learning, as you know already, it is an intergovernmental organization which was created by Commonwealth head of governments to encourage the development and sharing of open learning and distance education, knowledge, resources, and technologies. So, for teaching, learning, development, and research. In fact, I think if you go to the website of Commonwealth of Learning, you will find a lot of interesting content material used for your teaching or for your research purpose, which is free for use. The Commonwealth of Learning, it is a very strong promoter of OERs. Next is the OER Commons, and before you can go through the definition how OER Commons they describe that these are the teaching and learning materials that are freely available to for anyone to use, whether you are using them in the capacity as an instructor or student or even as a self-learner. And they classify OERs as either a full course or a certain course module, syllabi, lectures, homework assignments, quizzes, lab work, classroom activities, pedagogical materials, games, simulations, and many more resources. In fact, in our next slides, I will show you the various kind of content material. A little bit about OER Commons, perhaps as you may be knowing that it was a project which was created by ISME, that is the Institute for the Study of Knowledge Management in Education. And in the year 2007, OER Commons, due to its commendable work, it was awarded a Tech Award as the technology benefiting humanity. And OER Commons is a free teaching learning network of around 30,000 resources for anyone to use. So it's a very useful resource. You go to the website and you will find a lot of interesting material for you. Now, open education movement, it has got a very big support from William and Flora Howlett Foundation, and they have also defined OERs as the teaching, learning, or resources that reside in the public domain. You see, it's very important here this term that these are those resources which reside in the public domain, or they have been released under an intellectual property license which permits free use or repurposing by others. These include full course material modules, textbooks, training videos, test software, uh, and other tools which are materials or by to sport or to access knowledge. Uh, in addition to that, Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, it also classifies it like it's a free and openly licensed educational materials which anyone can use for teaching, learning, research, and other purposes. So these are the open education, and a type which has been have already been defined under various definitions have been classified. Like we can put them either as a complete course, full course, or some course materials, content modules, learning objects, collections, journals. There are many a big range of open educational resources available to us and particularly, I would like to discuss here this the uh, open practices and the open content. Means the content, what can be the quality of an open content, like it has to be openly licensed, freely available. So then it needs to be highly discoverable and available through an open platform which can be technologically repurposed, and it has high value production, for example multimedia, accessible design. It has some educational purpose, and since it can be reviewed by masses, and on the basis of the feedback you can consider that the quality is assured, and these become a catalyst for open practices where the content is available to the students who are not only on the campus but they can be outside the campus anywhere, and the content can be shared. Such open content which is openly available through open license, and in teaching context you can reuse it. So these are the some of the open practices for teaching and learning. Now let's see some of the uh, 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 OER materials which pertain to the courses. And if you see that the site at OER Commons, uh, you can browse the content through in various parameters, and like through grade level or subject area, and you can see here that the material which is available here, it covers a broad range of subject areas, like more than 2000 resources are available for art subject, around 7,000 in humanities, mathematics and science, technology, social sciences, and they belong to various levels of education, be it primary, secondary, or post-secondary, higher education, like that. If you notice it, there is a lot of variety in the type of materials available. They can be assignments, audio lectures, case studies, curriculum, activities, full course, gaming, homework, assignments, images or illustrations, simulations, readings, syllabi, textbook, video lectures, like that. So you can see that as a teacher or as a student or as a researcher, you have a lot of options available, and you see that even there is a wide range of media formats, like this can be in the form of either audio files or graphics, photographs, images, and mobile content, plain ASCII based text or HTML, and downloadable video, interactive, like this. So you can see that a very vast range of content is available to the platform. This is just an example of showing that there is a this is a resource which is it pertains to convex lens, and from the science. discipline. And if you see that they are using the Creative Commons attribution, non-commercial share alike, the kind of license which they have allowed for this resource. Yes, thank you, Gaurav, for typing the URL for this. Let's see some of the benefits of open educational resources. In fact, the founder of Wiki Educator, Dr. McIntosh, they conducted an OER case study at Otago Polytechnic in New Zealand, and some of they classified the benefits of open educational resources under various like for individuals, for the educational providers, for educational system as a whole, or for the institution. And the study reported that definitely the OERs they have been found to improve the access, and in fact via OERs some of the world's best quality learning resources they can be, and they are offered, and the costs are lowered, no tuition fees, than the benefits of OER doing, and it lowers the text cost. There are some calculations which they did while their study, and it's beneficial for the providers as it opens new markets or new revenue streams through attachment services, or it is beneficial to them in terms that they can offer a better diversified curriculum, and through collaborative approach they can reuse the existing resources. And if you see the benefit as a whole for the educational system, it has been found that it really beneficial in improving the access to affordable courses and programs, and it makes available higher quality learning resources, lowers the cost, and the availability of large kind of resources to the people. Now, let's see some of the developments here in the area of open educational resources in India. I have taken some of the examples uh, from this field. This is an open source a sort of a view classroom where the meeting is conducted for the teaching. Basically, it's a presentation platform. The teacher can address the students, and they can make their lecture available from their library so that the students later on they can. So it has been developed by Amrita University in South India as a part of a project for Ministry of Human Resource Development and Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. So it's their joint project, which has been supported by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Department of Education. Uh, IIT Bombay, I must say that they are in a way the front runners in the area of doing work in the area of open educational resources, and this project OSCAR, which is a acronym for Open Source Software in Animations Repository, and it's a very big database of animation repository which the teachers they can find for their disciplines into it. Call it the project after. Then another of the project is this open educational resources for schools. Uh, this open educational resources for schools is a common project which was sponsored by Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission, and it was implemented by Maharashtra Knowledge Corporation Limited (MKCL), and I-Consent stands for Indian Consortium for Educational Transformations. And here they create electronic e-learning material for either teachers, students, parents, with the purpose that it provides them good information. It enables them to undertake some activity and to create new knowledge and for interaction. So there are a lot of resources available on this platform. Uh, Next is this knowledge, National Knowledge Commission, Government of India. Uh, in fact, the background of the emergence of OER in India, it can be attributed to this National Knowledge Commission, uh, where as a part of one of the challenges, they were faced by India, was that we were concerned about how to provide access to quality higher education opportunities to masses. Because population wise also we are second to China only, and perhaps maybe very soon we don't know if we outrun them in that field. Anyhow, and open educational resources movement, as we have just examined some of the benefits via the Chicago Polytechnic study, that it offers a great promise for meeting this challenge of providing a big access to quality education to the people. So, with the purpose to meet this challenge, this knowledge commission, the Prime Minister of India appointed this National Knowledge Commission in the year 2005 uh, under the chairmanship of Dr. Sam Pitroda, and the basic purpose was to build excellence in education system. And if you see that this National Knowledge Commission, they gave a basic framework of how it can be done through access, through some content creations, applications, and services. So, one of the recommendation of National Knowledge Commission was to make use of globally available open educational resources and open access as a means of increasing the availability of high quality educational resources. And thus, on the basis of these recommendations of National Knowledge Commission, certain initiatives they were taken by various educational institutions in India to promote and create the application of knowledge to meet the educational demands of various sectors, and how the Indian educational enterprise, it can be promoted in terms of its access and quality. Therefore, in tune with the recommendations of Knowledge Commission, uh, there were some initiatives, like one of the initiative is the uh, NMECT, National Mission on Education, with the help of ICT, which was a project of the Ministry of Human Resource Development, and it was established. It was done in the year 2009. This NMEICT, National Mission on Education through ICT, it is a centrally sponsored scheme of the Government of India, where the potential of ICT is to be leveraged in the teaching and learning process for the benefit of all the learners in higher education institutions, anytime, anywhere, the kind of access can be made available to them. And under the same project, the e-content, it was created on a massive scale. In fact, many of the universities and the educational institutions, they undertook many projects, and one of them is this program which is called as the National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, NPTEL. It was sanctioned to IIT Madras, and you can see that there are many IIT Mumbai, IIT Delhi, Guwahati, Kanpur, Kharagpur. Most of the Indian Institute of Technologies they have been involved into it to enhance the quality of initially for the engineering education in the country by developing curriculum-based video and web courses. So the project now it is in the next phase of development where more than 1,000 courses in many disciplines in engineering and science they are getting generated. And in addition to that, there is another development in India, which is through the Consortium of Educational Communication, popularly called as CEC, which is an inter-university center on electronic media of the University Grants Commission, which is an autonomous body in India. Uh, they also developed e-content, and for many of the courses at UG level and the PG level, covering more than 100 subjects into that. And let me see my next slide. Okay, I will this National Institute of Open Schooling. It's also started working, developing open educational resources. Let me tell a little brief about National Institute of Open Schooling. Uh, it's a pioneer institute in the open learning at the school level. Indira Gandhi National Open University takes care of higher education sector, and National Institute of Open Schooling pertains to the school sector. And very recently, this month, this institute, National Institute of Open Schooling, it has been awarded the Social Impact Award by the Times of India Group for its commendable services in the area of open schooling there. And it started as a small project of CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education, for out of school population, and what we sometimes call them as the second chance learners. And now it has grown as, I think, one of the largest open school of the world, and it has been famously termed as mega open school, on the tune of, like, we call certain open university as the mega open university, like Anadolu Open University of Turkey, and Open University of China, and Indira Gandhi National Open University of India, something like that. So National Open, this Institute of National Institute of Open Schooling, very recently they are now in the process of developing OER in three subject areas: ICT application, the course rural technology, and tourism and hospitality management. These projects, they are based at their NIS center in Pune, where the resources are made available from organizations and experts who work as the technology partner for the development of projects and academic support for developing OER, working with the basic goal of NIOS developing OER is to develop certain certificate and diploma level courses in chosen vocational areas with the support of OER, and then to deliver them to students to develop their skills in the area of their choice. Actually, a little background here is that very recently certain national vocational education qualifications framework has been introduced by the government of India, and NIOS has taken a lead into that to develop open education resources so that the students of the open schooling or otherwise they can take benefit of that. Now let's come to certain other uh, uh, projects like this. It was developed. This Sakshat portal was developed for it's a very big repository of e-content, which is developed under this National Mission on Education through ICT and National Council of Educational Research and Training. They have their uh, material on OER. This is an online postgraduate diploma in e-learning which is offered by Indira Gandhi National Open University. As such, this is not an OER, but the one of the objectives of this program is that to use open educational resources and to promote them for to undergo this kind of course. No, this is e-Gyan course by Indira Gandhi National Open University. Actually, IGNU is in the process of developing more than 500 courses in around 20 disciplines of. Yeah, Vilasji, thank you so much for your comment. Uh, in the area of social sciences and humanities, and particularly the overall goal is to create high quality curriculum based interactive content for all the subjects and host them on LMS platform for the benefit of the universities, colleges, the worldwide academic community in open access. And all these courses are to be made available as open educational resources for the benefit of learner and teacher community in the country. Uh, at institutional level, through these projects, IGNU has made a very significant process. And through this e-Gyan course project, which was started in October 2005, the knowledge repository it has been created to store, to index, to preserve, to distribute, and to share the digital learning resources developed by ODL institutions in the country. Uh, in fact, there have been some reports that this e-Gyan course it has been emerged as one of the world's largest educational resource repositories, which facilitates learning and it empowers educators. Anyone is free; you can see it from the website. It's free of cost and access. You're free to access the learning resources available there in the print and video format. You will find the scanned documents there and more than 2000 courses and equal video lectures they are available online in the repository. There is another project which is called as FlexiLearn. It was also initiated in 2009 and for free and easy access to open courses, and more than around 1,000 open courses are available on the e-learning this flexible platform. It can be used for either self-guided or self-paced learning. Now, there is a little more development to these experiments done by Indira Gandhi National Open University, that the university has now decided that to all the learning resources they will be made available as OER and with its open license policy, and the board has already approved it, and we believe that it will be that leading developer of OERs where we can use ours and as well as by our other open universities, state open universities in India, so that this can be integrated into the teaching and learning at all the levels within the university system. And perhaps I think IGNU is the first university in the country to develop to adopt OER policy. and it guides the promotion, development, and usage of OER, and further. Let me see my next slide. Okay. Uh, 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 the it will not only make available the educational resources and the courses on this flexible learn or e-Gyan course, but it will also provide a platform for the faculty and others to upload their content voluntarily created by them as a value addition to the existing course content. It may include the class notes, the presentations, the short write-ups, etc. And this platform will also facilitate the uploading and sharing of the derivative works or adapted works emanating from the existing content of uh, the system which is available here. Let's see what are some of the challenges to the uh, open educational resources in India. This is a study by Dr. V. Venkaya, who is also he is now the Vice Chancellor of Krishna University in South India, and along with two of my colleagues, Dr. Sanjay Mishra and Dr. Pankaj Khare, they have taken a project on Wiki Educator to develop handbook of open universities. So there were he conducted a study and found that there are certain challenges to the use of OER by distance learners or others, that somehow it has been found that the development and the use of OER is still low when compared to the developed countries, which is understandable. Hence, there is a challenge of development of user-friendly systems and ensuring that their implementation of quality assurance of coursework. These are certain challenges as reported by Professor Venkaya in his study. And it was found that we need clear and sound policies and guidelines for updating the content regularly, modularizing the content to meet the localization needs of the for the open educational resources. These are some other published work in the area of OER by the Indian authors. And this was the the working group of the National Knowledge Commission of Government of India. So overall, we can see that the shortage of infrastructure and teaching faculty, based on that, it seems that it is most appropriate to harness the potential of technology to for we say that in our conditions to democratize education and reaching out to the masses through a collaborative platform. And that's why the courses are being set in the cloud, and particularly if you see the development of MOOC, massive open online courses, it is gaining movement of the past few years, which integrates the connectivity of the social networking and facilitation of acknowledged expert from some reputed institution, and making available a collection of freely accessible online resources. And if you see the courses offered by Indira Gandhi National Open University and the kind of the clientele which we serve, you can say that the programs already fall under the category of open educational resources. However, I think I can definitely say that India is becoming an active player in open access movement, and you can see that there are so many open access electronic journals, open access repositories, and open source software based repositories. And OER is an effort to that direction, which we feel that have the potential to revolutionize education in that area. Let's see some of the work by OER Foundation. Uh, and it's an independent and not for profit organization that provides leadership and in the area to achieve the open education. And Wiki Educator is one of the platforms for that. This is the main page of Wiki Educator. And in India also we have a very big presence on Wiki Educator. This is the page for Wiki Educator India. Yes, I'm winding up. That's why very quickly. And in fact, Dr. Nelly and me, we are maintaining this user page expo award, which every month they are we try to the community try to identify and recognize the exemplary work done by the people from the Wiki Educator community. And this you can see that the UPE winners from India, Dr. Savitri Singh, who is principal of Sarya Nagendra College. Then Ms. Cynthia, Dr. Indira Paneru, perhaps if she is present in the meeting, Dr. Vilimai Badas, we have Pramod Kumar, Dr. Geeta Mathur. In fact, Dr. Geeta Mathur was the first in 2008 to receive the award. So these are some of our colleagues who have been awarded. And thank you so much. This was an attempt to identify some of the initiatives in the area of OER in the Indian context. And now the session is, I think the time is very less, but still, if there are some questions, you can visit and give me your feedback at okay.
Thank you so much. Sorry that the time flies so quickly and there's so much more to talk and so many questions to ask. But the OER, the Open Educational Resource, is a very important project. So I invite everybody to join Wiki Educator, find out more about the Open Educational Resources. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.